stepped into our hearts, folks, because that's all we got to do. You know, I've said so many times, if people stepped into their moral compass and they refused to comply with any legislation which caused them to step outside their moral compass, we could change the world in a single day. It's really that simple. All you have to do is remember who and what you are. Remember that you have value. Remember you're having this emotional conversation with reality all the time. You know, there's this energetic exchange going on all the time. Put yourself in the correct energetic state. No stake in the outcome. You're only here for a breath. You're only here for a temporary experience. What do you care if the world destroys itself? I mean, really, it's here for you to come and grow your soul. What happens to it after you leave is not your concern, and what happens to other people is not your concern until their actions start affecting your soul choices. And this is what this is. This is a soul choice. But you've got to remember that if you're an awake human being and you're awake to what's going on here and you're aware of what's going on here, well, you came here for this test. You made the decision before you came to come here to go through this test and to go through this exam because you know that you are capable of passing this test. And if you weren't capable of passing it, you wouldn't be here. So yeah, it's a great thing to know. It's a great thing to think about. The fact that you made the choice to come here to do this. And if enough of us get together and get our focus pure, stop hacking each other down. This is about a soul test. This is about a soul choice. And the best thing we can do now is become, you know, one in spirit. Still maintain our individuality, become one in spirit. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? We want to get to a point that we're all one. Now, people are lonely. Often people are lonely. They don't want to be alone. And yet they want to get to a point that we're all one. We're all a single consciousness. And what happens when that happens? Well, you're all one. You're all alone again. You know, think how lonely it would be if you were part of a single hive mind. It would be. It'd be a really, really lonely experience, folks, because everybody would know everything about everybody. You wouldn't have any private thoughts, and you'd be lonely. You'd be lonely. I think you'd go completely nuts, knowing that every thought you were having was being monitored by everybody else. And all the thoughts that were coming into your head belonged to millions of other people as well. It'd be, I mean, people would go insane with what's going on. It's just the way it is. So yeah. But I believe we'll come through. I believe that the truly divine human spirit will make it through this. So yeah, but just be prepared, folks, be prepared. We do literally create our reality. We create the reality by our emotional input and by what we do, but it's a test. This picture is called Wisdom's Dare. It's done by a very good friend of mine called Adam Scott Miller. And as you can see, the way he's depicted it in the picture, we do literally create our reality, but it's Wisdom's Dare. It's Wisdom's Dare. That's really what life is daring us to do. It's daring us to be wise.
The only true way to really and truly embrace the light and to stand fully in the light is to be able to embrace the darkness without fear. Because it is only when you can stand without fear that you can fully stand in the light. When you can stand without fear, there's no problem in facing the shadow, because in the face of the true and righteous power of universal love, there can be no darkness. In the face of the light that you can connect with simply by walking away from the fear and thereby allowing yourself to connect with the universal power and the universal consciousness that we are all connected to, the darkness flees. It just does, folks. But there is a lot of darkness that people are facing. There is a lot of fear that people are facing. And I know with every fibre of my being that the way to overcome the problems we're facing is to understand the true nature of this reality, to understand the true connection we have to each other, and to live in love. That's the key. That's the key to the whole thing, folks. Step away from the hatred and step away from the fear. Don't get angry with what's going on. Simply walk away from it. Put yourself in a state of love. Unconditional love, folks. It really is the key to everything. And all you really need to be in unconditional love is to understand the true nature of this reality. Understand the true nature of the consciousness that we are all part of. Understand that what is real is that space behind your eyes. That is what is real. And the energy that powers it is the energy of pure, unconditional love. That's it. Everything else is completely illusionary. Everything else is simply a product of your perception, your interpretation of what reality is, based on what you've been led to believe. When you can truly grasp the concept of this and truly understand it and begin to realize that all of this has been proven by science now. It's even been proven by science, folks, that your consciousness is not local to your body. All you are is a biological computer picking up one frequency from the surrounding field, and you are interpreting that frequency into reality through this body created by the one consciousness that we are all part of. Each one of us is simply a thought in the mind of God. When you have that understanding, when you can base yourself in empathy and love for all others and be in a state of compassion, the rest is easy, folks. The rest is easy. Don't look for external saviors. You don't have to go to healings. You don't have to go to any of these things. All you have to do is look within yourself. Look into your own heart, and then look into the heart of another. Because when you look deep enough into the heart of another, what you'll find is yourself. This entire life experience is an exercise in free will. It's a game of freedom of choice. And it's a choice between love and fear. There is only two emotions, love and fear. If you won't look at the shadow, you need to understand why. If you refuse to acknowledge the negatively polarized energies in this world, you have to ask yourself why. If you are in a state of unconditional love, if you know that there is only one consciousness, then what's to fear? What's to fear about looking at the negative energy in the world and addressing it and removing it from the world by making the choice to be in love? See, this is the game, folks. This is the game. Can we do it? How long will it take for this splintered consciousness to return to self, to regain self-awareness, to regain the knowledge that there's only one of us here? This is a single consciousness. And the key to unlocking this consciousness, the key to returning to self, is empathy.